Hi, I'm Marty Cohn, and welcome to episode 33 of Rotary Cares, the monthly award-winning show that will tell you everything you wanted to know about Rotary International and more. Rotary is a global network of 1.2 million neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers that come together to make positive, lasting change in communities at home and abroad. Established over 116 years ago, Rotary now has 35,000 plus clubs all over the world. Rotary's motto is service above self, and Rotarians adhere to the four-way test, a nonpartisan, non-sectarian ethical guide for Rotarians to use for their personal and professional relationships. The test has been translated into more than 100 languages, and Rotarians recite it at club meetings. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? In Brattleboro, there are two Rotary clubs: the Brattleboro Rotary Club that meets every Thursday over lunch, and the Brattleboro Sunrise Rotary Club that meets every Wednesday over breakfast. Unfortunately, during COVID-19, both clubs meet virtually over Zoom. Today, we will be discussing membership. Our guests are Monique Ruth, past president of the Queen City Rotary Club, and Seneca Eldredge, president of the Hooksett area Rotary Club. Welcome, Monique.
Hi, Marty. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, listen, thanks for coming all this way and being on the show.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, great. So Monique, just to set the stage, how long have you been involved with Rotary?
I joined Rotary in 2014, so 7 years now, believe it or not. Time flies.
Time flies. So let me ask you, this is a little memory quiz. Why did you join?
Oh, that's so easy. So I was brought up in a family of giving back to the community. My dad was a fourth degree knight, and I was brought up to be giving back to the community. And in my current role as a producer at Clark Insurance, I wanted to get back into the community that I worked in and serve them, but nothing really grabbed me. So one of my colleagues who's part of the Manchester Rotary, our sister Rotary Club here in the city, he suggested that I check it out. So I went to a few meetings, probably 10, before I made a decision. And not because I didn't love the Rotary, I wanted to make sure that I was good enough for Rotary, that I could give them what they were looking for. And after all those meetings and getting to meet so many fabulous people and getting their take on why they joined and what they loved about it, I had to do it. And there's been no looking back.
That is fantastic. So actually, let me ask you, when does the Queen City Rotary meet?
So we meet on Thursday mornings over breakfast. But again, like you said, due to COVID, we've been doing the Zoom meetings.
And Queen City, Manchester, New Hampshire, how many members do you have?
We have 66 and counting. We have 3 on the roster right now that are looking to join.
Fantastic. That's great. All right. Well, so now, as I said, the subject today is membership. So here's my question for you. What have you done as a Rotarian in your 7 years?
What haven't I done? So right off the bat, I was asked to be on the board. So I joined the board, and then I was president-elect, and I was president. And in that term, we've done everything from I helped build a ramp for a disabled veteran. We created some quilts for children of CASA. They move around a lot and they don't get to take their things with them. So we put together quilts and gave them to those children with their names on it. We have, I've participated in the Comedy Bowl, which is our biggest fundraiser, where we raise all the money that we give away in May. And I headed up the Comedy Bowl, put the committees together. We all get an opportunity to do that, those of us leading up to president. So I was part of that. I do bell ringing. I coordinated an effort to put together a shopping spree with a bunch of my fellow Rotarians for children in need. And we had a wrapping party at Christmas and gave those presents out. There's been so many things I can't even think of everything that we do.
Well, but it sounds like you really jumped in feet first, which is great. So here's in the 7 years, what's your favorite memory about being in Rotary?
There's so many, but I think it all came full circle to me. You hear Rotary International, what we did for eradicating polio. I had the opportunity to take a trip to Brazil with my daughter's best friend's family. They're from there. We were driving back to Sao Paulo from northern Brazil, and we were passing through this city. And we're in a car of about 6 people, and I'm the only one who got excited, of course. And I couldn't get my phone out quick enough, but there was a giant sign, if you will, a statue, Rotary International. I literally got goosebumps going by it, and it came full circle that this is bigger than me. This is bigger than Manchester. This is bigger than New Hampshire. This is huge. And then I had the opportunity from that to meet a past president from Rotary who was in Brazil. And he is one of my clients' dads who came to the States, and I happened to meet him. It just all came full circle, and it's just amazing.
It is, I have to admit, you're sharing one of my favorite things, which is the fact I could go anywhere. When I'm wearing the pin, the Paul Harris pin or my past president pin, people will come up and you just start talking. I mean, it's a wonderful family, that we've joined. So in your 7 years, have you seen any changes in the 7 years?
In our Rotary specifically, we have been recruiting and retaining much younger members. I know my first thought when I thought of Rotary, I think of my dad and, being a knight and everything. And I'm thinking, yeah, I kind of think this is a club of stuffy old men. And it is so not. It is so not. And there are so many, I'm so grateful that parents were doing the right thing and bringing their kids up to give back to the community the way my family did. And we are bringing in a much younger membership, and they are just full of energy and ideas and really feeding the club. And it's exactly what we needed. That's the biggest change that I think I've seen in that club.
Fantastic. All right. So last question, think on this one. What's the best thing for you about being a Rotarian?
Again, so many things, the ability to just be a part of the community in a positive way. But I have also made so many great friends, and not just in our club. I've reaching out to other clubs and doing community service with the other clubs. And like I said, I have a family around the world, no matter where I go. So for me, it's just knowing there is more good than bad out there. And I have all these people around me, surrounding me and working with me to show that. And that is just so important and so heartwarming.
Monique Ruth, thanks for taking the time to be on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back with our guest, Seneca Eldredge. But first, this brief message from a Rotarian president in Georgia about what it means to him about being a Rotarian. We'll be right back.
Rotarians contribute their time, energy, and passion to sustainable, long-term projects in their local communities and across the globe. I am often asked, what is Rotary? Rather than answering that question, I want to tell you what it means to me to be a Rotarian. I believe in Rotary and its motto of service above self. I believe in maintaining high ethical standards in one's business, profession, and one's personal life. I look for ways to engage Rotary and get involved. I support the Rotary Foundation to do good throughout the world. Being a Rotarian is a way of life, a satisfying, lifelong adventure I'm willing to give to, be a part of all that Rotary has to offer. I'm willing to dig a well that I will never drink from, build a house that I will never sleep in, prepare a meal that I will not eat. I trust the foundation to do good with the donations I give. Help eradicate a disease. I am willing to step out of my comfort zone to serve those in need. What are you willing to do? I am proud to be a Rotarian. Join the movement and help change the face of Rotary.
Welcome back to Rotary Cares, a monthly award-winning show that demystifies Rotary International. Our guest is Seneca Eldredge, president of the Hooksett. Well, we're going to get that from him. Hooksett Area Rotary Club. Welcome, Seneca.
Hello, Marty. It's fun to be here. Having a good time.
All right, so I'm killing the name of your club, but so let me just ask you, say the name of your club and when do you meet?
It's the Hooksett Area Rotary Club, and we meet Monday evenings from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m.
Okay, and Hooksett is a satellite club?
Yes.
And you're a satellite of which other club? Of which club?
The Sauhegan Valley Rotary Club, and they're based in Nashua. However, when we started looking into the initiative of starting a club in this area, we thought it would be good to align with an existing Rotary club so that we could participate in fun things like this, go to conferences, have those experiences, because we would be Rotarians, and the alternative would be developing independently, and then once we chartered, becoming Rotarians. So we aligned with the Sauhegan Valley Rotary Club the closest because of our meeting times and how we want to structure some of our club operations. So we aligned with them, and so we're going through them, but we operate very independently, and it's really our finances are aligned through that. And they give us advice, which is great to have that resource to go to and say, hey, is planning a run 2 months out too soon? For them to say, put the brakes on, don't do it. So they've been a wonderful resource.
All right, great. Well, thank you for explaining that. Now, let's talk a little bit about you. How long have you been involved with Rotary?
So it depends on how you define involved. If you say involved, I've been part of Rotary for over 20 years. However, if you say a Rotarian, it's a little over a year and a half. My mother was a Rotarian in the Bow Rotary Club for over 15 years. And so growing up, it was always a part of my life. Doing auctions or the roadside cleanups or different events was always a piece of what it was like to be at home. And so that was just my first exposure to Rotary was from that lens. And then moving forward, it just kind of, I had this opportunity. And so I started, and that was back in September.
Wow. Okay. So then so why did you join?
Yeah. So I really wanted to be better connected with my community. And I have learned over the years that I really have I enjoy being part of that community and knowing what's going on and being involved in different things. And so since Rotary was something that I was a bit familiar with already, I knew that those connections, I knew that was there. I decided to join and start doing that and serving my local community. I was in a place where I could do that, and I could start to give back, and I could do those parts of it. And it also seemed like a better productive use of time. So.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you did that. Now again, I'm going to have to ask you to clarify something for me. How did you get involved with the Hooksett Area Rotary Club specifically?
Yeah, so I heard that there was a potential new club getting started, and I went to an interest group about it because I just wanted to learn more. I met Steve Pudaba, and he talked to me about more things, about how they wanted to start a new club and shape it a little differently and try something new, see if it worked. And so that's what really interests me, because I do like developing and starting new things and engaging with the community and serving. And so that's what brought me into the club to be a member. Was here I was looking to be more engaged, and then almost around the same time, this opportunity came up to be more engaged. And so I, without a doubt, said, yes, let's do it. And that's how I became a member.
Okay. And dare I say, president. which is
Yes.
this is what happens. You didn't even have to leave the room, and you became president. So
No, the question was asked and they were at a table and everyone looked at me.
that's that's the rotor that's the Rotary way. So let me ask you, in your year and a half, I'm not going to go back 20 years and what you did with your mother, but since you've been a Rotarian, what have you done?
As a Rotarian, I've been a part of really creating something new and those new traditions, which is something that I've really enjoyed. And so with HARC, we've been able to do multiple different collection drives, from Drive Away Hunger to a few different other unique things. And we have some fun ones coming up. And then additional things that we've done are the roadside cleanups. We've done multiple Thinking of You card campaigns, focused on people living in independent assisted living areas or independent living areas, with senior communities, because it can be really challenging. I live alone in a house, and so I feel lonely sometimes, and I'd like to get a Thinking of You card. So those are some key things that we've done. The other neat part is we've been able to work with the Manchester Queen City Rotary Club as something called Community Catalyst, which is focusing on being a catalyst to connect someone who has a need with someone who has that resource. And that's been a great opportunity to work with Monique in a different way than just your standard Rotary Club setup is. Now we have this joint effort between two clubs.
Well, so it sounds like you in your short-term time as a Rotarian, you've done a lot already. Let me ask you, you've probably given this some thought too. What would you like to do as a Rotarian?
I want to go on a service trip somewhere. That is a huge component of my life, as I love traveling and I love learning about different cultures. And if I can learn about a different culture and help them at the same time, that is so influential to me. And I would love for that to be an experience. So HARC is actually looking into, could we do a global grant and what would that look like? And are we able to do that? So once COVID and things wind down a bit, that's what we're looking into. And we're starting that now, which is great. So I'm so excited that that's been a discussion for us, because that's something that I really want to do as a Rotarian.
That's fantastic. And I'm going to tell you, offline, I'm going to tell you about a project that I'm working on where you can jump on a service plan, and it's in the United States. So anyway, I'll tell you more about our work at Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. But let me ask you this, because you're on the younger side of the Rotary curve. I'm putting myself at the other end. How do you think we can get more of your friends to join Rotary?
I think something for me, and one thing that I was hesitant is that sense of flexibility of being a member. What does that entail? How long do you have to be a member? What are these different things? And that for me was a key part, along with just the meeting times. I'm not a morning person, and I don't have time during lunch all the time to step away and do those parts. So for the Hooksett Area Rotary Club, from the very start, meeting in the evenings was really influential, and we made that decision Monday nights specifically, because we wanted to have something where we could do something Monday, or if we meet over the weekend to do a service project, then we don't meet on Monday. Or during our meeting time, we actually do a service project in that meeting time. And so that for me is something that I really like, and I know that my friends like, is knowing, okay, Monday from 5:30 to 6:30, I have an engagement, but whether it's a service project, a speaker, a business meeting, a Brave Space chat, or a bonfire at my house, who knows what it could be, but during that time, that's my Rotary time. So I think those were key components. And then the other part is really looking at that stereotype of Rotary and breaking that mold, because a stereotype is a stereotype. It's not true for everyone. And that's certainly the case with Rotary, and certainly with the Hooksett Area Rotary Club. We're really focusing and putting diversity, equity, and inclusion to the forefront of our club. And one of the newer initiatives that we've just started is once a week, we do a Brave Space chat, which is where it's just an open forum. We don't even have an agenda or a topic at this point. We might get a little more structure. We're still feeling it out, but it's just an hour where we sit as people and we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. any subject within those. So whether it's terminology, whether it's culture changes, it's fascinating. And the discussions and what we've learned are really neat from our different members, because we all have different backgrounds. And so just hearing about it has really been eye-opening for me. And we've only done 2 sessions of it. So that's one thing that I think is key with younger groups is, and in our country right now, is what are we doing surrounding diversity, equity, and inclusion? And this is how HARC is helping with that, is we're just putting people together and talking.
Beautiful. That's fantastic. All right. So I'm going to ask you a question that I ask all my guests, and I think it's going to be particularly hard for you, but I'm going to ask it anyway. And that's, what's the best thing for you about being a Rotarian?
That one's actually easy.
Oh, okay, good.
It's the people. I haven't met a mean Rotarian. I haven't met a Rotarian who wasn't caring and giving and thoughtful. And that is so pivotal for me. Is my favorite part is the people and the Rotarians that I'm getting to meet. And more than that, it's the connections that Rotary is making for me to meet people in the community and have those experiences. Yesterday, I just did a delivery to drop off school supplies to a local school district, and I got to meet that principal, and we had a wonderful conversation. And so she's not in Rotary, but it was still through Rotary that I was able to meet her, and now we have that opportunity for future things. So that for me is, it's the people for sure.
Fantastic. Seneca, thank you for taking the time to come on the show.
Of course, thank you for having me.
All right, I'd like to thank our guests, Seneca Eldredge and Monique Ruth. By the way, I usually give a shout out to Brattleboro Sunrise Rotary Club past president Kevin Yeager for doing the magic behind the cameras. And I look forward to the show that we can return back into the BCTV studio. Speaking of BCTV, I'd like to thank BCTV for recognizing the Rotary Clubs of Brattleboro, that's right, as the 2018 Nonprofit Member of the Year, and for recognizing me as the 2020 Host of the Year. And a special thanks to Brian Bashaw, who for helping us bring this show to you. If you have any questions, concerns, or even ideas for future topics, send them to info@BrattleboroRotaryClub.org, info@BrattleboroRotaryClub.org. I'm Marty Cohn. Thanks for watching.